Hiya. Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. Or if you're sitting up late to watch this video, I do apologise and thank you for sticking with me, because I've got the task, ladies and gentlemen, the nearly unliftable task of For's Hammer to take a game like that and a performance like that 3-1 loss to Olympiacos on a cold, wet, windy night, sprinkle a little bit of charm, a couple of wee jokes and a bit of enthusiasm and make it an entertaining video so every single person who's tuning in right now leaves with a wee bit of a flicker smile on their face. And now, if you watch that game of football, you know we'd need to phone wee Tom Cruise, because it's nearly impossible. But obviously getting this sentence that needs to be said out nice and early before we go anywhere, because again, we're not going to hit the panic button or anything like that, and this phrase does need to be said, and I'm sure you've already said it several times, whether it's on social media, at the game with your dad, your auntie, your mum, your girlfriend, yourself, your pals, or if you were sitting in a pub or sitting in a house, whoever you were talking to about this game of football, you've all said the single phrase. Are you ready? It's just pre-season. And yes, I agree with that, so take everything I say under the cloud of it's just pre-season. But I do feel like it's a very interesting talking point, because you can look at that and say, yeah, you're expecting these types of drop-offs here, you're expecting new players at the football club not to be the superstars or be the best versions of themselves. We can take all that, but for me, you've actually learned something pretty obvious in this game, in my personal opinion, alongside the it's going to take a wee while for this guy to warm up, or this guy to warm up, or this guy to get tuned up, or these guys to build chemistry. It's the other way, and I'm not going to be looking at the new players and calling out the likes of the seamers or that. That's going to take time. For me, what I learned for this game is something I've known for 2 years at least, maybe 3 years if I'm going back that way, and that's the fact that Barisic just can't defend. And I'm sorry to start off in such a negative tone, people, but I can't do it. I just can't do this another season, please, Rangers. If there's ever anything to make it so blatantly obvious that this guy's time has came when he needs to go. Olympiacos, every single time they go to the football, was just punting it down his side. Is it no embarrassing? I would be absolutely mortified to be a Rangers player the night, or a Rangers manager, or a Rangers coach watching that, because we all saw it again and again and again, and we just left it to be. Then we can't go through another season with a team licking their lips and saying, right, just kick it down his side. It's embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. We're progressing as a football club. We're making big signings. We're making moves. We're doing this. We're trying to push this club forward. We need to cut ties on some of the previous fan favourites and move this club on forward, because if there is one glaring weakness in this team, it's defensively, especially down the left. But obviously this isn't a Barisic witch hunt, and he certainly wasn't the only one that wasn't up to par. I mean, I'd be really quicker sitting here and telling you the only 2 positives I got. In fact, I got 3 positives for the game. I thought Big John Suter continues to surprise me and look assured every single time he touches the ball. He's starting to do especially what he done a lot at Hearts, when he was really impressing me a couple of years ago when we did the SPFL show, when I used to sing his praise so damn loud, and that's picking the ball up and driving forward with the ball, forcing the Rangers to actually go forward. Really impressed with Big Soapy, and I thought Lammers was excellent with every twist, every turn, every dance that he done with the football. Sometimes he's wee close control on how he was able to shift it from left to right was bringing me back to Jelavic, if I'm being honest with you. They two really impressed me, and the third positive for that 91 minutes versus Olympiacos was probably the final whistle, because it was nice, it was loud, and it was needed, which isn't really supposed to be happening. You're supposed to get better as pre-season goes on, and because I'm always, you know what I think of the first pre-season game, I hate it. I genuinely just hate it. Second game, it is what it is. The third game is when you start playing your players 60, 75 minutes and start really shaping, and the last pre-season game is when you go pretty much play your players that's going to be starting in the opening day of the season. And my thoughts and opinions are we looked really leggy in that game, and maybe we were always supposed to, right? And I don't know if this is going to come across as silly. You can let me know down in the comment section below, but this is your third pre-season game in the space of 7 days, and I just thought just everything was nearly wrong with it, if I'm honest with you. Not just talk about the weather and all that, but maybe that was just a wee indication of it as well. Just look at the way the crowd was and that, because the first 2 pre-season games packed to the rafters and everything like that, real feel good. Then we come into this game and It wasn't packed to the rafters, but no wonder it's not. It's the third home pre-season game in the space is 7 days while releasing like 2 new kits. It's very, very expensive and you're asking for a lot of money. Season ticket money, my dear, blah, 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 blah. It just felt like everything was nearly wrong to a T, and I think it kind of bled on to the part because it did feel almost forced in, if you know what I mean. I mean, this game should have just been happening on Saturday, and then do you know what I mean? I feel like it should have been planned a little bit better. That's all I'm trying to say. Sorry, especially when you consider it's the third game in the space of 7 days, and we're doing double training sessions on the Monday and everything like. We're hearing that from Michael Beale. He's really running the boys in, building up the pre-season, and 2 days later playing a game. And I get it's just pre-season and everyone's not playing 90 minutes, but the boys looked leggy and blowing in this game, and I just felt everything was wrong. Honestly, everything about the day just felt iffy, and that's pretty much the game. I don't know if I've made any sense here, but that's just how I felt. It almost feels like a needless game at this date or at this time at Ibrox once again, and that's the players almost played like that, because the biggest feeling I got for the two sides, especially when I got later on, I'm going to skip to a wee bit. You think of the last 5 minutes with the Hadji incident, where the boys left one on Hadji pretty late. Hadji's reacted, then Big Lunnies came in, and the only thing he connected with all afternoon was one of their boys laying him on the deck. And I thought to myself, that was the first time in the entire game we actually bit back the last 5 minutes, because the rest of the game, Olympiacos treated us like a real game of football and got stuck in. We're arguing with the referee, we're arguing with players, we're geeing themselves up. And if you watch us for about 74th minute before Hadji ended up reacting, we're just kind of going through the motions, you know what I mean? We're playing it like a pre-season game, which I know it is, and people's going to be screaming at me in the comments. But I just thought we didn't match them at all for intensity. And honestly, I thought the Greek side deserved the 3-1 win. And if it wasn't for a questionable penalty, if I'm honest with you, it would have been 3-0. And obviously this isn't a league reaction, so we're not going to go minute by minute or anything like that. Let's skip to the actual penalty, because I actually thought the one in the first 3 minutes of the game was the penalty that we should have had. Big Desser's son, we talked about actually in his reaction video and his preview video, if you remember it, when we were talking about him and breaking him doing, is he likes to get the ball at his feet, does a quick turn, and I say this guy would win us a lot of penalties. That was the moment. I nearly had the perfect clip for Twitter, but the referee gets it wrong in my opinion, and then ends up giving us one that I didn't think was a penalty. Go figure. It's very difficult to be an official, but I just thought that was completely wrong. I thought Cantwell was expecting the touch. The touch does come, but he's already on his way down. I don't know. I don't think VAR is actually given that, especially with what I saw last season watching the old EPL. People can argue with me and scream at me that it was a penalty. Fair enough if you think it was. I just think he's on down, and I think if VAR's there's no actually giving it. It reminds me of Ryan Kent's one. I think it was at Tynecastle last season. The exact same. The touch does come, but he's on his way down just before it happens. Just even a split second anticipating the contact, and it ends up getting overruled. I think it's carbon copy, people. I think the penalty on the day should have been Big Desser's, in my personal opinion. But that is our third penalty in 4 pre-season games. The warm-up is well and truly here. And it's funny to go back to that first 5 minutes where again Big Des should have won us a penalty kick. I actually thought we started off pretty well. I thought the press was there, we were asserting ourselves in the game, and in the space of 10 minutes we looked absolutely out on our feet. 10 minutes, that's what it took. I thought we started off very well. We were pressing them. Lammers was getting the ball, spinning men. Dessers was getting involved. Seema was showing his pace. We were getting a wee bit of Dowell on the ball as well. He whips in an absolute beautiful cross that ends up getting headed out. That big Raskin just runs up and rattles for nearly Copeland and people, and it's a phenomenal save. And I'm thinking, oh my, this is going to be a bona fide bumping. But again, as we've already said, it genuinely died like that, and it was almost like the Achilles heel. Once they noticed, that once they figured out all they had to do was hit one ball in behind the left-hand side to Rangers, and we would be all over the place. I mean, Dowell's catching flack online the day, and I've seen it a lot on social media saying, oh, he just looks like a headless chicken. Do you know why he looked a bit headless for the majority of the game he was on? Because he was doing the left centre mid position and also the left back's job. He was doing two men's job because he had to keep covering for Barisic. I mean, the first chance Olympiacos go after not being in the game at all. People, Barisic boots it when he just needs to kick it away, ends up hitting off his face to play it through, and thankfully it gets deflected wide, as I think Davies actually spreads himself well and knocks it out. More on that in a minute. Because Ben had another good 15-20 minutes, and that's why I tweeted out what I tweeted out, people, because I thought, he's covering for Barisic again. Couple big headers. The crunching 50-50 challenge that he won as well, by the way, which I think, again, lit the light for Olympiacos, and they started to get hyped up and ready to go from that incident as well, but just never had his teammates backing him and getting to that same bite. And then, as always with Ben Davies, no matter what we were doing going forward, including Lammers, twisting left, twisting right, looked like me on a Saturday night. He has a shot which was very well saved by the goalie. No matter what we tried to go day forward, we were always susceptible to the one counter-attack doing the flanks. Rangers, it's the glaring problem with this football club, and it's no surprise to anybody that was here. The first time Beale was here, he's went away, he's came back, it's still the exact same. And no matter how well Ben Davies done in the opening 35, 36, 37 minutes of the game, he will be judged in these moments. The ball coming in, to be fair, I think a lot of people was being very kind on Tavernier, because it's his kind of, I don't know if lazy's the right word, lackadaisical defending, I'll say, is he's just kind of trotting back. It's a simple pass in behind him. Davies, Suter needs to cover that pass, so Davies ends up covering across. The cross comes in. I think Davies tries to swipe it with his left foot or his right. I can't even remember, people, but ends up spooning it in the air, goes out to the edge of the box. Tavernier can't get anything on it, and the shot ends up getting deflected off Barisic. But see, if you'd have asked me, how is the only way Rangers would have conceded, I'd have broke down nearly that goal. And if you'd have told me before the game, this is how it's going to happen, it's going to hit Davies, it's going to hit Barisic, it's going to hit the back of the net, I'd say, aye, that's about the most Rangers goal you can get. And it's weird that we're still right here in that moment. Aye, it's my only worry, ladies and gentlemen, my only issue. I'm so excited about the new signings, and trust me, there's two good ones coming up very, very soon, right here on the channel. We've kind of teased that over the last couple of days, and I get the excitement, and I do understand the best defence is a good offence if you want to use the American football-ism of it, but at the same time, can we just have a wee bit defence? But despite Barisic putting out a 45 minutes that's equal to Ryan Kent's comeback game in the loss to Celtic, if you remember that game, and it was the last we ever saw of Ryan Kent in a Rangers shirt, his performance was just as bad, probably even worse, and that he still came out in the second half, and that's what makes me nervous. That's why I'm not sitting saying it's just pre-season, he's just getting minutes. Why is he getting the majority of the minutes before Kilmarnock? Do you know what I mean? I'm sitting here like Professor Xavier, no because I've got telekinesis, but because I'm getting a migraine about Barisic. And I know it's going to sound like I'm just moaning here, but why is McLaughlin getting minutes? You know what I mean? That's the sub we made at half time. I know Beale talked about it before the game. He was giving McCrory 45 minutes and he was giving McLaughlin 45 minutes. Why? Do you know what I mean? Why? Why are we giving Scott Wright minutes if he's gone away to Turkey and we're trying to move? What's happening? I'm no one to moan, but you know, Mr. Echo, as we like to call him right here on the channel, did come on and the big man tried today's best. But we did bring it back to 1-1 again after Sima does some really good running. He tracks a kind of loose touch for the defender, spins in behind his man, plays a beautiful ball to Big Lammers. Lammers touches it to Cantwell, and again, Cantwell is on his way down. For me, it's no a penalty kick. Again, I've already voiced my opinion on it, but upsets Tavernier, he puts it into the back of it. We get back one each. We got the penalty we should have had in the first half, and now let's build it. Davies is off now, there's no excuses. Let's see Barisic be a defender. Oh, he's 4 minutes later, one ball down the left hand side to Rangers. The boy headers it, Barisic headers it onwards. Am I being overly critical here? Am I being harsh? I don't know. It's dreadful defending. Heads it back here. The ball ends up getting saved, I think, originally by McLaughlin. Mr. Echo, as we lovingly call him here on the channel, slides in, does very well to keep it alive. And this is what I feel so bad for Yevko. He does really, really good there, people. He reacts, he dives in, tries to make up for the mistake he's in teammates. And we've got Barisic and McLaughlin standing there replicating their favourite One Republic song. People, they're stopping and they're staring, and it drives me crazy. I've seen Barisic do that so many times, and McLaughlin's just standing there. Where's the reaction? Get out there, the young laddie has done his absolute best for you. If anyone else had the anticipation or the awareness or trying as hard as him, McLaughlin would have just went like this and got the ball, but they both just stood there watching it, and we're 2-1 down, and any momentum we could have potentially had, bringing it back to 1-1, was well and truly gone, as it was obvious. We were just hitting long ball to the left, long ball to the left. It was like sitting at Wimbledon courtside, I imagine. I was just going, alright, Alright. Still, Dessers and Barisic end up getting took off a couple minutes after that, with Redvan coming on, Lundstrom coming on, and Sakala, I believe, coming on. And I thought Redvan done very well when he first came on. He set Lammers up, combining really well. And I've probably not talked about him enough in this video, because he is the shining. And what I really liked about him, people, is he was dropping deep and he was just spinning men and passing it, but then following his pass. It's the exact same as what he'd done for when he danced around a couple of defenders in the first half. He does it for here, spins away, passes, tracks it, gets in the box, forces the goalkeeper into a good save. It's one of the ones you say good save, but at the same time is you're wanting that in the back of net, being obviously 2-1 down. And I thought, right, let's have a wee bit. And then we end up shooting ourselves in the foot as Cantwell, who's not been great this pre-season. Yes, he obviously won the penalty kick or anything like that. I feel like he's almost trying too hard, if you know what I mean. And obviously he's getting asked to do a slightly different role now, and I don't know if it's just clicking yet or if he's trying to get in tune with his teammates, because a couple of times he was making the same run as Sima, a couple of times he was making a couple of the same runs as Lammers, or he was trying to connect with Dessers, and it just wasn't coming off. Obviously that's going to take time, and that's what these pre-season games are for, but he tries to do like a wee back heel thing on the byline, ends up losing the ball. Redvan comes in, he needs to just get rid of that ball, but he tries to keep the ball into play. The boy runs by him, cuts it back, Lunny's towing a caravan, the ball gets slapped in. I'm pretty sure it nutmegs McLaughlin as well. Yes, it hits Ovyevko, but I'm sitting here blaming the wee laddie. I'm not doing that at all, people. And it's 3-1 to Olympiacos, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, we did make some more changes in the game. We brought in the likes of Rabbi Matundo and everything. And to be fair to Rabbi, he did have a couple of the best opportunities. And at least he looked positive and he was trying today, son. And by trying, I mean he was running, cutting inside, having a shot that was about a yard or two away. I know they said inches away or something like that. If that's inches, I'd like you to speak to several of my ex-girlfriends. And the best moment of maybe the game in the second half for Rangers is Suter driving with the ball. He whips in a great cross, passes it to Robbie, right to his feet. It's the best cross of the day, best touch of the day for Rabbi Matundo. I don't know either, but his turn and swivel shot ends up being straight at the goalie, and that was a major opportunity. Again, he does all the hard things and then misses the easy things, and that's probably the enigma of him as well. And it's just a frustrating day at the office. One of the ends you just kind of want to get on with. You want an announcement in the next day or two so you can start feeling good about yourself, and you want to maybe look a shadow of what you're supposed to be looking like this deep into pre-season at the weekend. That's just how I feel about the game. I mean, even Tavernier's corners were off. Just a wee example, we've signed giants now. We started giants in this game. Every single Tav set piece went to boys' shin pads that even Redvan would have to kneel down to header. It just felt off. And you know what I mean? It's one of those games that everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. I just want to throw it away. I want to forget about it. But that was my frustrations overall in the game. It was ugly. It was poor. But it is pre-season. No injuries. More minutes in the belt for players hopefully going to be playing. And I wish we'd stop giving minutes to boys that aren't going to be playing. Do you know what I mean? Why is Butland not getting involved in that game? Why is McLaughlin playing? I just don't get it. It's wild, ladies and gentlemen, and that's all I've got to say. I'm not going to sit here and complain on that. I'll be excited in a day or two when we announce Cervantes and obviously Danilo, but we move on and speak about them in a day or two. But until then, I've been CJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.